Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, welcome to the Global Virtual Summit 2026, Lindy.
Yes, that's correct.
Um, Before going to your session, I would like to introduce you to our audience.
Okay.
Lindy is a trauma-informed speaker, nurse, life coach, and founder of Healthy is Happy, dedicated to helping individuals heal and thrive after adversity, drawing from her extensive nursing experience and personal journey as a trauma survivor. She empowers children, women, and families through holistic, resilience focused coaching. By integrating trauma informed and wellness practices, Lindy inspires lasting healing, self awareness, and personal growth. That was a great bio, Lindy, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My my name is Lindy Gately, founder of Healthy is Happy LLC, and I'm truly blessed and deeply honored to stand before you today as a keynote speaker. To be surrounded by so many strong, courageous, and inspiring women is both humbling and energizing. Today, I will be speaking on growing resiliency out of trauma, a topic that is both deeply personal and profoundly important. Together, we will explore how trauma may shape our experiences, but it does not have to define our future. Just as the lotus rises from the mud and blooms in extraordinary beauty, each of us has the capacity to rise above adversity and transform our struggles into strength. My hope is that you will leave here today feeling inspired to embrace your own journey, recognize your own power, and discover that your greatest struggles may become the very soil from which your greatest purpose grows. What if the experiences that once threatened to break you could become the foundation of your greatest strength? Childhood trauma is often described as a hidden epidemic, silently impacting millions and leaving lasting scars across the lifespan. For many, its effects can shape beliefs, relationships, and the way they see themselves and the world around them. Yet trauma does not have the final say. It does not define a person's worth, potential, or future. Within every individual lies an extraordinary capacity to heal, adapt, and rise. Resilience is not something reserved for a fortunate few. It is a strength that can be cultivated, strengthened, and sustained. Even in life's darkest moments, seeds of hope, courage, and transformation can take root. Today, we will explore how individuals can grow resilience out of trauma through trauma informed coaching and integrative mind body practices. When people are given the tools, supports, and opportunity to heal, they can move beyond merely surviving and begin truly thriving. They can transform pain into purpose, wounds into wisdom, and adversity into a source of strength. Just as the lotus flower rises through muddy waters to bloom in breathtaking beauty, so too can we rise above our struggles. Trauma may shape part of our journey, but it does not determine our destination. Through hope, healing, empowerment, we can reclaim our stories, rediscover our strength, and create lives defined not by what happened to us, but how courageously we choose to rise. Trauma does not discriminate. It can touch every aspect of a person's life, regardless of age, background, or circumstance. I firmly believe that to truly solve a problem, we must first address its root cause. In many cases, the root cause begins in childhood. Far too many children who have experienced trauma are not receiving the support they need. Research shows that nearly 1 in 4 youth with mental health needs do not receive adequate care. This is where the gap occurs. Our children are slipping through the cracks, and when trauma goes unaddressed, it can evolve into complex challenges that follow them well into adulthood. We have all heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. For a child who has endured trauma, the village becomes even more essential. Healing requires a multifaceted team of support that may include doctors, nurses, counselors, educators, family members, friends, coaches, community leaders, and holistic practices, working together towards a common goal. This is where trauma-informed coaching and integrative healing practices can make a profound difference. Approaches such as art therapy, music therapy, trauma-informed yoga, and Tai Chi are not simply complementary services. They are powerful tools for healing, empowerment, and resilience. A comprehensive approach is necessary because childhood trauma affects nearly every aspect of development, including cognition, physical health, emotional well-being, relationships, behavior, mental health, and even brain development. Effective healing must address the whole person. Equally important is the use of strength-based framework. Rather than focusing solely on deficits or what is wrong, a strength-based approach recognizes a person's inherent resilience, capabilities, and inner resources. It helps individuals see themselves not as victims of their circumstances, but as capable of growth, healing, and transformation. Art therapy allows individuals to express experiences that words alone cannot capture. Music therapy creates a pathway for processing emotions and experiences through rhythm, melody, and creative expression. Trauma-informed yoga fosters safety, body awareness, self-regulation, and a renewed sense of personal agency. Tai Chi promotes balance, mindfulness, emotional, and a renewed sense of personal agency, and decreased pain and a physical well-being through intentional movement and breath. As awareness of these evidence-informed practices continues to grow within the healing community, I believe we must think beyond traditional models of care. Instead of waiting months to access mental health services, why not teach resilience building skills proactively? Imagine if trauma-informed practices, emotional regulation, mindfulness skills, movement and creative expression, and resilience training were integrated into every school's curriculum and made accessible through our communities. Imagine equipping children with tools for healing before they reach their crisis point. Imagine our next generation of empowered and resilient women. By closing the gap between need and access, we can create a generation of young people who are not defined by what happened to them, but empowered by how they rise from it. We can help transform pain into purpose, adversity into strength, and trauma into resilience. Because when we invest in healing our children today, We are building a stronger, healthier, more resilient adults of tomorrow. Trauma does not occur only within families or communities. It also arises from armed conflict, natural disasters, a humanitarian crisis affecting millions of people worldwide. When trauma occurs during childhood, its impact can be especially profound, often leading to adverse mental health, physical health, and educational outcomes that can persist well into adulthood. One of the most common consequences of trauma is post-traumatic stress, PTSD, and complex PTSD. These conditions are far more than emotions alone. They can disrupt concentration, relationships, physical health, and a person's ability to fully engage in life. Perhaps most significantly, trauma can erode resilience, the very capacity that helps us adapt, recover, and thrive in the face of adversity. Yet research continues to demonstrate that resilience can be rebuilt. A study conducted in Montana examined the effects of a 6-week trauma-informed yoga intervention involving adolescents ages 15 to 17 across 2 school districts, as well as 43 educators. Researchers collected and analyzed both physiological and mental health data before and after participation. The results were encouraging. Students who participated in the face-to-face trauma-informed yoga program experienced significant reductions in stress indicators and improvements in overall mental well-being. Educators also reported positive mental health outcomes, highlighting the broader impact of trauma-informed practices within schools and communities. Trauma affects both the mind and the body, which is why healing approaches that address both are so powerful. Tai Chi, for example, has been shown to improve balance, focus, emotional regulation, and overall well-being. Research has also demonstrated benefits for individuals living with chronic conditions, such as fibromyalgia, heart failure, osteoarthritis, and pulmonary disease. For trauma survivors, Tai Chi can help reduce dissociation, increase body awareness, and create a renewed sense of safety within oneself, strengthening the foundation upon which resilience is built. In addition to movement-based practices, creative therapies offer powerful pathways to healing. Music therapy can help regulate the nervous system, reduce anxiety, improve mood, and provide a safe outlet for emotional expression when words feel inadequate. Art therapy allows individuals to process difficult experiences, explore emotions, and transfer pain into meaningful self-discovery through creativity. Both approaches can help reconnect individuals to their strengths, identity, and inner resilience. Trauma-informed coaching, it further supports this journey by providing a safe, empowering space for individuals to recognize their strengths, challenge limiting beliefs, and develop practical tools for navigating life's challenges. Rather than focusing solely on what happened, trauma-informed coaching helps people discover what is possible. It fosters self-awareness, confidence, emotional regulation, and the ability to move forward with purpose. Together, trauma-informed yoga, Tai Chi, music therapy, art therapy, and trauma-informed coaching demonstrate an powerful truth. an important truth. Trauma may be part of a person's story, but it does not have to define their future. With the right support, skills, and interventions, resilience can be cultivated, strengthened, and sustained. Healing is not simply about surviving adversity. It is about learning how to grow through it. Building resilience after childhood trauma requires approaches that extend beyond traditional interventions. Research continues to support effectiveness of art therapy, music therapy, trauma-informed yoga, Tai Chi, and trauma-informed coaching within a multidisciplinary trauma-informed framework. These modalities address both the emotional and physical impacts of trauma, fostering self-awareness, emotional regulation, confidence, and adapted coping skills. A holistic, client-centered approach not only supports recovery, but also promotes long-term well-being and resilience through the lifespan. But what if we didn't wait until someone was struggling to teach these skills? Imagine a world where resilience building practices were woven into every school curriculum. Imagine children learning emotional regulation, mindfulness, movement, creative expression, and healthy coping strategies before they ever needed them. Imagine the confidence, empowerment, and hope we could cultivate in young people if we equip them with these tools early in life. Imagine the next generation of empowered and resilient women. Trauma may be a chapter in someone's story, but it does not have to be the ending. With the right support, guidance, and opportunities for healing, adversity can become a catalyst for growth. Pain can be transformed into purpose. Struggles can become a source of strength, and wounds can become wisdom. I invite you to think about a challenge that seemed impossible to overcome, a moment that tested your strength, your faith, and your sense of self. What if that very experience held the seeds of your transformation? What if your pain was not the end of your story, but the beginning of your growth? Just as the lotus flower rises from muddy waters to bloom into extraordinary beauty, resilience can emerge from even the most difficult circumstances. When we invest in healing, when we invest in healing and we invest in our children, the world becomes a brighter place. Because the world does not need women who hide their gifts, silence their voices, or diminish their light. The world needs women who embrace their value and stand confidently in their truth and empower others to do the same. May you leave here today knowing healing is possible. Your voice matters. Your experiences have meaning. And your future is still being written. Just as the lotus flower blooms through muddy water, may you have the courage to rise above every challenge, the strength to embrace your journey, and the confidence to step fully into the woman you were created to be. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. Your struggles may have tested you, but they did not break you. And your story is far from over. Keep healing, keep growing, and keep believing, and above all, keep rising. I want to leave you with this thought. Healing is not a destination. It is a journey of courage, self-discovery, and hope. Through my work as a trauma-informed coach and founder of Healthy is Happy, LLC, soon to become Lindy's Healing Lotus, I have had the privilege of walking alongside women and girls as they transform pain into purpose and adversity into strength. I have witnessed healing unfold through coaching, but also through powerful practices of art therapy, music therapy, trauma-informed yoga, and Tai Chi. Sometimes healing begins with finding the words to tell your story. Sometimes it emerges through a brushstroke on canvas, a song that speaks to the soul, a mindful movement that reconnects you to your body, a quiet moment of balance and strength. These practices help women rediscover their voice, rebuild trust in themselves, regulate their nervous systems, and reconnect with the resilient spirit that has always existed within them. The lotus flower has become a symbol of my work because it reminds us that beauty can emerge from muddy waters. No matter what challenges you have faced, your story does not end with your pain. Your story continues with your resilience, your growth, and your ability to rise. So today I want to leave you with a challenge. I challenge you to stop speaking to yourself through the lens of your wounds and start speaking to yourself through the lens of your strength. I challenge you to set one boundary that honors your worth. I challenge you to take one bold step toward a dream you have been afraid to pursue. I challenge you to replace self-doubt with self-belief, fear with courage, and survival with purpose. Most importantly, I challenge you to stop asking, am I enough? And start declaring, I am worthy, I am capable, and I am powerful. In closing, I have a couple questions. My first question is, if we know that trauma can shape a child's future, what responsibility do we have to ensure every child has access to the tools, support, and skills needed to build resilience going into adulthood? My second question is, what is one action you can take this week to advocate for trauma-informed programs, mentoring, or emotional wellness resources for your children and your community? And my third question is, imagine the impact if every child who experienced adversely learned healthy coping skills, emotional regulation, and self-worth early in life and were able to use them to transition into adulthood. What role could you play in making that vision a reality? Thank you for listening.
Yes, Juliet, thank you for your wonderful talk. And we really gained a lot of knowledge from your talk. And please stay on the backstage and join the next session, Juliet. Lindy. Hello, Lindy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your talk, Lindy.